Welcome. This is a very important video that is useful to both program directors as well as the executive directors. Program directors who want to really report fundings report to the funders, they will find it's a very innovative and faster way to design very effective storytelling. For not for the executives, essentially, telling the story in an evidence base is a long-term game, and I'll walk you through steps there as well. Many of our Sopact customers have been really doing this thing for years, essentially, and in fact, you can join our podcast to learn about their journey because it's not something that you build this thing overnight. But the basic storytelling can be done much faster than most people realize. But effective story requires that you get a very well thought through data collection practices and tell the story in a way to bring causality between multiple things. Tell the story that is based on most effective metrics that can differentiate yourself. And there are so many other techniques that we have in this series. And for that, we have created this video series. You can see on the screen essentially, and I highly recommend you to start with that. And as you can see here, the first part is more about the mechanics of building storytelling part of it, and obviously the power of it. The second part is more about data collection practices altogether, and it's very powerful because without data and evidence, longitudinal data, qualitative and quantitative data, you just can't come up with a powerful impact-driven stories altogether. And the last part is something fun and everybody should watch is the Canva. As you know, Canva is our favorite tool. There are other tools too, Figma, PowerPoint, obviously many other people use it as well. And you can see some of the best practices on storytelling through Canva perspective. And I'm going to walk you through that as well. But Canva by itself or any other tool is not a solution. It's really, you require to think through the process. And the process is as follows. Number one, defining right kind of data collection, defining this analysis process, and ultimately design thinking, what you want to say. And I'll give you some best practices on design thinking, and then you can apply this visual storytelling aspect of it. Okay, so let's get started. So first, let's say I'm working with an organization called Girls Code. And next is to essentially, I take that and use Sopact GPT, obviously, and I can go through step-by-step process, and we can automate this process in the next release altogether, where you go to Sopact Sense and you collect the data. And once you collect the data, it's automatically categorized by quantitative insights. So pre and post for quantitative data for your training program, for example, or qualitative insights through thematic AI-based analysis, or custom or what is called inductive and deductive approach of AI-driven data collection, time story, and ultimately story of your report. You simply input those results into your GPT, go through one question at a time, and voila, you will have a final report created for you, which is what is the starting point for thing. And as you can see, it's pretty detailed, and I'm gonna go through this thing in this process. Actually, you can see this has key elements that is built in for each and every key aspect that you want to really bring it out in storytelling. So things like executive summary, what programs you have, program impact, theory of change, methodology is very important. If you want to get trust and transparency, important to have very clear data collection practices that you have applied, how many samples, have you used open-ended questions, qualitative, quantitative, are using pre and post, everything should be well defined. And things like standard alignment, like SDG goal 5 and so. Quantitative analysis, this has all been automatically done in Sopact Sense, right? Once you're done that, you have this quantitative analysis, qualitative insights, key testimony that you captured. Everything is goldmine and very valuable. But the most important thing now is before I take it to a Canva, I want to make sure I have a very well thought through design thinking. And design thinking is very important for a couple of reasons. Not only is building a report part of it, obviously for report part is very useful, but more important for the executives is to what story you want to tell. And the way you do that is through essentially through AI driven approach where you go and build series of visualization that is useful in communicating this thing, and that the story is very important. Do I want to say by different segments? I don't want to start typically by more complex data. I would start with the simple statement like this hinders a career advancement for the women and non-binary individuals. If I don't do that, it will be very much of a chaotic process. And the way I do that, obviously, to make sure that I increase coding skill improvement, increase confidence, resume workshop impact, and that ultimately brings my program impact. And for each of this, I'm gonna keep building my thinking, and this tool obviously is a thinking tool essentially, and you can come up with a whole host of way I want to tell the story. And not every infographics is the most relevant, but those that is relevant is something you pick because that is going to help you expand your design, how the way you want to tell the story altogether. And again, here this story is not just about reporting numbers. Anybody can do that. Here the main thing is to how you want to communicate every element. So if I'm talking about data collection practice, I want to really clearly communicate that I'm collecting both quantitative data and qualitative data. For qualitative data, I'm collecting open-ended questions. And for that, the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that I'm increasing confidence level, I'm increasing STEM education engagement, and I'm increasing the workshop impact. And then you combine that data with the quantitative data, and that is really what ultimately aligns with the overall goal of aligning with industry framework and SDG framework altogether. That's how you do that. And then you can start presenting the results. That pre-program, the score was 52 and after that 72. Or here in this case, I increased the likelihood to recommend and web application building significantly more. This is a very important metrics as well. It's a 43% and this is all based on qualitative feedback, by the way, not based on 1, 2, 3, 4 survey questions. 43% felt that there was high confidence. Now, how do you know high confidence? Based on the qualitative feedback from the stakeholders. And that is much more impactful because now you are getting unbiased information from every students altogether. And that's very important, or parents or mentor or anybody. And it's very important to talk about confidence building, how much it improved, what's this increase in the STEM. And you go through this thing step by step, build a story, and now your ability to communicate your impact is going to be magnitude of it higher. And obviously then you finally hire designers to build a story in a things. And as I mentioned in a previous one, go through the Canva based storytelling series as well. And we have lots of examples. So please go and look at those examples on our website. And I hope this really helps and this inspires you to not only build beautiful impact report, but more importantly, long-term impact so that you can raise millions and millions of dollars for the initiatives that you are most passionate about. So come and talk to us. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe this video. And there are many playlists, so please go through that as well. So thank you, and I hope to see you in the next video.